We've finished the last video in this series on Pliny's letters with this clause. Indeed, I was not doubting whatever it was which they were admitting. And it was the 3 times Pliny asked, are you a Christian? Yes. Are you a Christian? Yes. Are you a Christian? Yes. Because these questions are under threat of capital punishment, namely, for the Roman state here, crucifixion. And so, we said in the last video that Christians, being Christian itself was not a crime, and was not a crime in itself for many, 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 many years after this. So what he's going to punish them for is this kind of madness that Pliny sees in the Christians, namely their stubbornness. All you have to do is pretty much say, no, I'm not a Christian, and you're free to go. But if you say yes 3 times, just to a question, he's like, please, just lie to me. You could just lie to me, and you're free to go. So why is he having them punishment? Like, what is the punishment coming from? Stubbornness and stubbornness. Pertinacity, great word, and inflexible obstinacy. That's why they're being crucified. In Pliny's mind. Mostly. Because the stubbornness is going to keep them from doing a very important, critical thing. Namely, worshipping the Roman gods. Others were of similar madness. Nice, rare kind of predicative genitive. Others were of a similar madness, and this is probably the trickiest part of this paragraph. Whom, and then another conjunction. Conjunction. What do I do with that?
Bye! God!
Here's a verb. Here's my closest verb here. Should I do this verb with this conjunction, or this verb with this conjunction? I'm going to do it with that one. These nice, helpful commas. It's going with this causal clause. This conjunction needs the ad notavi. Now, I can do this clause at the end. Why? Because. Quia. Because it's an adverbial clause. It can go anywhere. Whom I ordered. This is a little tricky. This is accusative, and this is accusative. And there's really like an implied esse. Oh my gosh, wait a second. Do I see a form of sum and an nda? A form of sum and an nda? Oh. That gives me a future passive participle forms, future passive periphrastic. Expresses necessity or obligation, translates must be. Yes. Whom I ordered must be sent back into the city. Now the city, what city is that? This is Rome, the city. Critical, amazing little sentence here. If you remember from the video, one of the videos, we talked about Nero blaming the Christians, which we noted was probably, as it's recorded and known to us from history, mislabeled, right? Because there were no Christians at that time. This was not a thing. And so the followers of Jesus were not distinct from the Jewish community, and really it's an act of anti-Semitism. Important here, because Nero, who was a terrible emperor, terrible, Boudica, if you remember, Boudica, she rebels under Nero because the Roman governors abused their privileges, rights, prerogatives. Same with Nero. He abused Roman citizens. Under Trajan, different situation. What is he calling this Christian movement here? He's calling it madness, right? Others were of a similar madness. But this clause here is going to make all the difference. Whom I ordered must be sent into the city because they were Roman citizens. There it is. We talked about that, didn't we? The coin of the realm. A powerful expression. And we talked about due process and how, again, it's not a straight line from our due process to Trajan. But it's a helpful concept to use. That once Pliny realizes or becomes aware that they are Roman citizens, some of these new Christians over in Bithynia, modern-day Turkey, some of them are Roman citizens. He can't just summarily execute them. He has to send them back into the city because they will there get a trial. Fascinating. Fascinating. Probably do a little video and ask some questions about that later, but this is a very significant distinction from, say, Nero, right? Where even in the city of Rome, Roman citizens were probably just mass executed, burned to death. This is far outside the city. It's far outside the city. It's not close to the city. And so to send somebody back to administer justice it's difficult. Logistics, they got to travel. And so to pursue the due process that the Romans have in their minds with regard to the rights that Roman citizens have, they have to go out of their way to protect the Roman citizen. Now, we have two moments here, right? Some Christians who aren't Roman citizens, simply for being stubborn, get executed, which to a modern mind, right? There's just no equivalent, right? You just know, wrong. But it is also kind of in contrast to the images of mass executions in the Circus Maximus, with Christians being summarily fed to lions. So it's a very complicated picture, very complicated, and fascinating. Fascinating it is.